The Manawatu campus of Massey University is host to Food HQ, an industry-centred innovation hub offering expertise in agri-science, food science and technology, nutrition and health, as well as commercialisation and related areas. There are plans to invest $250 million over the next 20 years in this super campus enterprise.
Food HQ is an initiative that's been put together by a number of the leading food manufacturers and research organisations within the Manawatu. It comprises 6 partners, so we've got Massey University as one, we've got the Retort Institute, Ag Research, Plant and Food, the BCC and Fonterra. And the intention is to use this initiative to drive food industry growth up to 60 billion in terms of real value for the food industry in New Zealand by the year 2025. I think individually each organisation has a well-respected, well-defined space, whether it's in foods R&D, whether it's in manufacturing, whether it's in commercialisation and marketing. By bringing them together, we achieve a far greater critical mass that draws upon each of our expertise and allows us to use each other's resources in a far more effective way to achieve these goals of producing better value-added foods. The food industry encompasses a huge number of organisations, from very, very small local manufacturers through to effective multinationals like Fonterra, and of course their innovation and research needs can vary quite considerably. The pilot plant here is an integral part of the Food HQ setup. It allows companies to come in and produce foods to scale. It's a far more effective way of producing foods than relying on their own facilities, because you're not needing to produce incredibly large volumes. Within here, we've got most of the unit operations that are present in most factory setups within the food manufacturing sector. We are incrementally adding to this. This is one of the advantages of the kind of modular setup that we've got there, is that we can bring in new technologies as they can be demonstrated to add value. I think the intention is to open up access within this whole food hub area to make it easier to cooperate with partners across different sites. So there may be modifications to infrastructure, but at the moment I think it's mainly recognising the strengths that exist between all these separate organisations and drawing upon those, bringing them together to create a much more effective way of working. This is a retort unit. It's a considerably smaller scale version of a typical industrial retort unit. The industrial ones are of a size that you can literally physically walk into. Now, the purpose of this unit is to be able to provide food safety to canned-type food products. So you're familiar with these. We're looking at things like tinned tomatoes, tinned beans. They're designed to have an extremely long shelf life, and the way in which we do that is to apply high temperature to inactivate the microorganisms that might be lurking within this product. These guys are using the heat treatment supplied by the retort unit to extract meat from bone tissue. So it's quite an innovative use of the technology, but the high heat that can be generated by this system here, so what they're doing is basically filling up the tin with the material, and then they simply put it in here, sealed, and then close the door, let the unit run, usually at a temperature of typically above 120 degrees centigrade for a few minutes, and that's sufficient to, in most cases, inactivate the microorganisms, but this allows them to get a better extraction of the meat from the bone tissue. This is an extruder unit. A lot of companies make expanded type snack food products, and this is the way a lot of those are made. This unit's producing ice cream. This is actually a reasonable representation of a typical commercial unit that you will find used by smaller ice cream manufacturers. You can produce very, very good quality ice cream with this that is equivalent to anything that you can then buy in the supermarket. What we've been producing here is ice cream based on Massey technology that is allowing us to produce a very high quality, zero fat ice cream. So we can produce a product here that has a texture similar to that of a product that contains considerably more fat, but allows us to take effectively 25% of the calories out. We are looking to try and actually take this to the next step, and that's one of the advantages of working within an organisation like Food HQ, is that not only do we get a very, very good partnership on the R&D side of things, but we also get expertise with regards to manufacturing at an industrial scale, through to things like commercialisation and marketing as well. So This is the advantage of this particular environment, is that where we do develop technologies like this, we can hopefully find marketplaces for them.
If we're going to be a nation that's going to produce the kind of value that will give us the income we want in the 21st century, we have to innovate, take our food up the food chain and begin to sell branded, more expensive products around the world. That's what Food HQ is about. It's about helping transform the food and beverage industry into a high value industry. We're a big entity, a lot of people here in the university, and we rank around about 21st in the world in the area of food and agriculture. So we're one of the world's leading institutions in a country that produces food. So we decided it was really important to bring together the capacity in a place like the Manawatu, where there are both private and public researchers working on food. That'll bulk up to probably around about 2,000 people who will be available to work on these kinds of issues from various organisations. That will give us something like world capacity to compete with the Singaporeans, with the Koreans, with the Europeans, with the Australians. We'll be able to be on the world stage with that kind of capacity. So we're big, but we're not big enough, and so we've tried to bring everybody together so that we can work in the Food HQ arena and really compete worldwide.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.